Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Valor-Inters Podcast. I'm Jupiter, and I am currently the sole host. If you have an interest in joining me, please inform me. I'm accepting anyone currently. For those of you who don't know, I am an aspiring analyst. Previously, I was doing this show with a co-host and a friend of mine, Ollie, but she has chosen to stop doing the show. So I'm doing it alone for now, hopefully not permanently. So, I've been gone for a long time, and I'm not going to be covering any of the recent things in Masters. I'm just going to be looking ahead to the future. So, as per usual, we're going to start with North America. Now, I think the big storyline for North America is that both of the finalists for Masters failed to qualify, FaZe Clan and Sentinels. Let's start with a match of Built by Gamers versus Sentinels first. Now, Built by Gamers have been in the scene for a very long time at this point. I mean, not a long time in general, but for Valorant, a long time. We've known they've had talented pieces for a long time, like Critical, who was accused of cheating, and Bjor, who has been a star Sentinel player. So, I don't think it's... to be fair, I would not have predicted this. I am shocked this happened. I'm make it clear. I did not expect this BBG to defeat Sentinels in any way. I thought Sentinels had a free ticket in. But I am not... It did not seem impossible for Sentinels to lose. It seemed very unlikely, but it did not seem impossible. We know that they've always had talented pieces, Critical, Bjor, and we've seen other players like their Jet player come alive. What we see from BBG is not only do they have a strong tactical style that works with the pieces they have a lot of up-and-coming talent with the new pieces they've added. It looks like they finally have a core of stable fraggers and some good support players. The IGLing was on point too. Now from Sentinels, we just didn't see much. I think Sentinels did not come into this game with any particular strats. They came in presuming that they could use what they learned from Masters, winning Masters, to try and... Excuse me. I'm assuming what Sentinels tried was that they thought, okay, we win Masters, we're going to crush this team easy, we're just going to free ride in. But BBG did their homework very carefully and were able to anti-strat Sentinels. And not only were Sentinels strats being read, they didn't really seem to have new ones, or new ones they're willing to show at least. They didn't have very good individual performances. Now, to be fair, it's Sentinels. You've got Tens, you've got Sick, you've got Dapper, you've got Shazam. Those are, obviously those are 4 superstar fraggers. Zombies is not shabby either. So it wasn't just that their tactics weren't on point. Nobody individually stepped up. So it's unfortunate, but, it's Sentinels. We'll be seeing them back. I'm absolutely certain we'll be seeing them back. I would be absolutely, I think there is almost a 0% chance, big donut, that Sentinels fail to qualify for the Masters Final. Maybe they don't make it to the Masters and Reykjavik, but if they don't at least make it, I meant Challengers Final. If they have failed significantly, if they don't make it to Challengers Final for North America. Now, let's talk about NRG. So, NRG, oh my god, who did NRG play? Oh, I'm blanking. Give me one moment, guys. Sorry. Jesus. I have to cut this. Alright, it's fine. No, this is who I am. I'm the guy who forgets to tell you things and looks them up. So, the reason I'm disappointed... I'll just start while I'm looking this up. Oops. They lost to... Oh, XSET. They lost to XSET. Yes, they lost to XSET. So, the unfortunate thing for... Alright. Give me just... Alright. They lost to XSET. Now, obviously, XSET have proven themselves to be a top-tier roster in North America. I'm sure not many of you were not surprised with this performance from them. But I, personally, am. And let me try and explain the reason for that. The reason I am really disappointed with this performance from XSET is that when I looked at NRG's whole problem previously was that EU was hard carrying the squad. He had no support, he had no help. Even when, I believe Shanks was briefly on the team, he wasn't really getting much help. I believe Shanks is off the team now. They had Tax, I believe, who was previous... Oh, who was he on? I'm trying to think. I can't remember, but I don't think it was a tier 1 squad. Was he on Dig? No, I don't think so. It wasn't a tier 1 squad anyway. But, yeah, so he was on... He was a good player. He's most famous for having that, I think, 1v5 ace. That in overtime it didn't even matter. I'm getting distracted. Let me focus. So, they've added some good pieces, but they still just can't put it together. The team doesn't seem coherent. They don't seem like they have a strong style. It just doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on here, and that's very disappointing because when I look at this team on paper, the whole thing is EU is finally getting help. EU is getting help. It's a miracle. Like, yeah, we should be jumping to the hills, screaming out like, EU's getting help, they can win now. But it just doesn't come together in the way I want it to. Obviously, I'm personally disappointed because, first of all, Android's a very talented player. EU is a very talented player. They should be getting out wins, but also because, I personally am a fan of Daps. I personally, and like Som. Like, they have all these young players being led by Daps, who's been so good previously at building top-tier rosters. He built the Optic roster that won EU Season 1. He built the current EG roster that was so good for so long. He's, like, even if he hasn't been on the rosters, he's so good at building rosters, and he's very good at building rosters and shepherding talent. So I always want to see him succeed. Obviously, XSET's a very tough matchup, but that's the way it goes. Alright, let's talk about the other big upset, which is version 1 defeating FaZe Clan. Now, I will stand by this. I don't care what tournament results FaZe Clan get. They still aren't clean. The reason they were able to get second in Masters is because they had high individual performances. Their IGLing looks better, but it didn't look good. It wasn't 100 Thieves level, it wasn't Exit level, it wasn't Genji level, it wasn't Immortals level, it wasn't Sentinels level. It was not top tier, but their players are such incredibly talented fraggers. The Score Esports made a video called Baby Bay holds W and you die. But that's it. That's the scrapbook of this team. They hold W and you die and they pray. So when you have a team like players like Vanity or from Chaos Esports, who obviously work on a good tactical style, and you have players formerly of Genji who have been playing this game for a long time, it's not entirely surprising that you're able to see the anti-strat FaZe Clan. Like, first of all, I just gotta say this, I love Vanity. The man, I nicknamed the man the Cat Ear Crusader on Twitter. I think he's a superstar. He has a ton of potential in Valorant. Obviously, he was a very good. He was a superstar. Well, not a superstar, but he was a very promising up and comer in CS:GO. Didn't work out because Chaos Esports fell apart, and ICS, the drill. But yeah, so this one was a little less surprising. I didn't predict this. Not going to be that guy who thought, oh, I saw this coming. I knew FaZe Clan would choke me. No way. I would not. No way. Not happening. Did not think that would happen. So I'm checking my camera. Jeez. But it's not. It wasn't out of the realm of possibility. I think, maybe I'm surprised, but not incredibly surprised. Alright, let's talk about. Alright, next one up. Immortals beats TSM. So maybe you guys aren't really surprised by this. TSM fans are. But Immortals obviously have been having a ton of performances. TSM bound down turn. They said they added Brax as a sixth man. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I love Brax. I was so sad. It's such a tragedy he got banned, obviously. So, TSM, even though I've been a TSM hater previously, are now my favorite team somehow. I'm gonna raise my chair. This is a good angle. You know what? Just for you guys, I'm gonna raise my chair so you guys can see my beautiful, ugly face better. There we go. Okay, now I can see my whole body, more of my body. Cool. So, yeah, I've been turned into a TSM fan. What are the odds? I know, right? But basically, they added Brax as 6-man. They said they have not benched Hayes. And Hayes not said he's looking for opportunities, so I'm assuming that's true. But, on paper, I really like what they did. Still Wardell hopping on Jet. That's good. Now you have Sabrosa on the duelist instead of Smokes, which I really like because Sabrosa is a superstar and he needs to be on a fragging role. Drone Silva looks very good as well, and you have Cutler IGLing. So what I like about this, and you have Brax. The thing that's great about Brax is an absolute role player. He anchors and he plays Sentinels. There wasn't really a coherent composition from TSM. When you add a role player like Brax, it gives you structure because okay, this player is going to play this. So what can the rest of us fill? And that ends up being Wardell on Jet, Sabrosa on entry fragging, Drone on support characters like Sabrosa or Drone on utility characters like Sage and like Sova, and then you can have Cutler on Smokes. I like everything about this new TSM lineup. I know they lost, but A, has been a lot of time, and B, I really like this look from them. And Bortles is a very strong team, a tough team to beat. Even with one of their players out, they still have probably the best tactics in Valorant currently because of their two coaches, Packing10 and Gunba. Obviously, Packing10 is a scouting god. I doubted him, I really did, for a long time, but I think he's at this point definitely proven me wrong. He is a scouting god. So when I look at, obviously I'm not so surprised they lost to Immortals, but when I look at TSM, I really see a lot of a very bright future. I think for a long time, like, TSM have just been peaked and then they've just been falling slowly, falling. This is the first time I have looked at TSM and I think this team is going to be on the up and up. Brax obviously has the potential to be one of the best players in Valorant. Hasn't really shown any superstar performances yet, but he's never been on a functioning team yet. So we'll have to see. But I really, really like this move. I'll be honest, I'm really sad to see Hayes go. They called him a 6-man, but C9 did that, and then they kicked Vice like 3 weeks later. I'm assuming this is what that is. This is a PR safe way of kicking. Kind of how Bit's going for Flamey and Navi in CSGO. Or at least that's what I think is going to happen. So yeah, I think this is unfortunately just a PR safe kicking. Sad to see Hayes go, but Brax is undoubtedly an upgrade. So I'm happy, and I love Brax. I love to see it play. Alright, let's talk about, I know people really didn't think much of this, but I want to talk about T1. So T1 signed Ons, the former Overwatch superstar. They weren't playing him. Assuming because having two Korean... Now, okay, I gotta be honest. I'm never a huge fan of importing players from other regions this early in esport. It's like, I don't really want to see too many Koreans in North American Valorant, at least not yet. I want to see, like, NA, BNA. But but it's T1. They're a South Korean org. They have Faker. I'm not surprised. I also don't think this is opening up the floodgates for everyone to sign a Korean player. No, I don't think so. So they weren't playing with him. I don't like to call for roster changes, but not to be that guy. Get Curry the hell out of here. I don't know why they signed this guy. He didn't have any good performances I knew of. He was never a top tier CS player. He just isn't a whole lot. And then I look at his performances, they're just not that good. Okay. So if we look at the 5-man lineup of what's it like, it'd be Dazed, who obviously is a very solid role player. Skadoodle. He's a superstar. No doubt about it. He can be one of the better players of the team. Automatic, who I shouldn't have to explain to you why Automatic is that good. Both of them are major champions. Automatic was the 18th best player of 2018. It's not that long ago. The man's an absolute freak. And then you have, ideally, you have Spider and Ons. I don't know anyone on that team who can't frag. Dazed is a very good clutch player. He has a very good deagle. And then the other 4 players are absolute superstar fraggers. I see no reason that roster shouldn't work out. Now, obviously, that roster's going to have 2 things to deal with. Communication issues. Ons obviously has a lot of experience speaking English with the San Francisco Shock, but still, it can be a little tough. You have Spider, who has a little bit of experience, but hasn't done it in a long time. Probably been working with T1 long enough for him to be a little bit better. So I think that roster could be fighting for a top 4 spot in North America, just off the gate. Like, the strength of the roster on paper is insane. It's unmatched. Like, that roster on paper is it has phase levels of fragging, really. So I really want to see that come out soon. Like, I don't like to badmouth players, but I've seen nothing from Curry to encourage me thinking he should be on the roster. I thought they signed him because they just needed a replacement because they kicked Brax and EZK very quickly, but I'm not impressed. So maybe they'll give Curry more time, but I want to see him fight for a spot better. All right, last game. So I was pretty high on Genji. For a long time. I think in one of the episodes we published, the last episode, you hear me being pretty high on Genji. They unfortunately lost to C9, which I was surprised to be. I was sad that C9 kicked Vice, because, just more of the Tens and Friends lineup eroding away. Tough, but C9 looks great. Zeta, I don't know how to say his name. I'm going to say Zeta. No, that's wrong. Zeta, the former player of Cloud9 Korea, who moved to Cloud9, first Korean player to move to North America, was insane. Zeta is, well, I guess I should say Zeta, because Zeta is the meta. That guy is crazy. I was arguing that, somebody made the take, I can't remember who it was, one of the casters, it might have been Banks, I think it was Banks, made the take that Zeta was the best breach in North America. I disagreed, because I was going to defend AZK. AZK is fortunately currently inactive, hasn't joined any teams, I want him back. But yeah, so we looked at, but I think Zeta at this point, obviously as a kid, Zeta can't really fight for it, has undoubtedly proven himself as the best breach in North America. Zeta is an excellent player, he's been popping the hell off. Excuse me. I mean, it's also, you've got Leaf, who is the former super, you guys know Leaf is at this point, former super KFCC, called a cheater, redeemed himself. No, wasn't a cheater, obviously, got called a cheater, proved he was legit, and is currently dominating. So I think, and then you've got, like, Mission Relics, who have always been solid. And then you've got the new addition, Poise. Poise is a... Sorry. Obviously, you will see Poise very often on the top of the NA ranked ladder. He is a nut on Jet. I don't understand why they're signing him at first. Now I understand. I'm very excited from Cloud9. Or from Cloud9. Yeah, from Cloud9 Blue. Speaking of Cloud9, they're the last... Oh yeah, by the way, what I'll say about Genji is that Genji just kind of got... just kind of played mid. Nobody popped up, nobody showed up individually super hard. The strats were just on par with Cloud9's, so the Cloud9's kind of just, diffed them. Wasn't a super exciting game, to be honest. I mean, what I mean is, it wasn't... That wasn't, exciting. It's just, I didn't see anything that made me think, that's a problem. That's a huge strength. You know? But still, Cloud9 are in the Challengers 1, I'm excited to see what they pull out. Alright, next up. What am I trying to... Who is next? Hold on, guys. Oh, alright. I want to talk about Cloud9 White. So, Cloud9 White are obviously the strongest female team in Valorant. I don't think that's a shocker, but what's incredible at Cloud9 White is first of all, Cloud9 White absolutely dominated the Game Changers, which was the female-only tournament run recently. That's not surprising even slightly, because they're the best female team in the game. It's not even close. What amazes me is that I always consider Jazzykins the best female player in Valorant, and because of that, Jazzy's been active for a long time at this point, and they add this player, Katie, who is absolutely cracked out of her mind crazy. I think she's competing with Jazzy for that top spot, and they're using Jazzy as a sub. And it's if they can use their best player as a sub, if they can, I really want to see Katie, honestly, I think Katie's good enough to be on the other lineup. Katie, I guess Poise is probably at the same level as, could be the same level as Jazzy, so I wouldn't make that move, but, Katie could actually, be could play and hold her own on the other team. If they can get a roster with Katie and Jazzy on the same team, Cloud9 White has potential to be a lights-out female team, and I'm so excited to see if they can put that together. They're doing a 6-man thing right now. I think at some point that's going to change. They're going to add Jazzy permanently back to the lineup with Katie. I really think Cloud9 White can be a tier 1 team. I really do believe that. I'm really, I want to see it. I really do. I don't think they did anything particularly incredible in the current recent qualifier. I don't even know if they played it, to be honest, but, I'm excited. I really, really, really want to see them do well. What I think is interesting is that, also this is kind of interesting, this is the last thing I say about North America, is that CLG Red, for those who don't know, Counterlogic Gaming is the original org. They have an Overwatch team, they have a CSGO team, they have a League team, but what they're most famous for, actually, at least CSGO, is hosting CLG Red. You might think, alright, well, why did they create CLG Red if they don't even have regular CLG? The reason for that is because CLG Red is the most successful female team in esports. They won every female tournament. They, Potter on EG, currently EG was on that team, and they won, everything. Every female tournament there was, they won in the earliest place top 4. They were crazy, they were a dynasty in the female scene. It's incredible. It really was. Very impressive. So obviously CLG Red, they're trying to continue the legacy by adding CLG Red, not CLG. So, yeah. Alright, let's move on to Europe. So, I've been gone for a little while, so Europe's changed a lot, but let me just start with Team Liquid. When I first saw... I actually almost created an episode. I created an episode. I didn't end up posting it because I didn't want to talk about a certain thing that happened. But I didn't post it. And I stopped posting for a little while. But when I first saw Yampy getting signed to Team Liquid, I was ecstatic. I was so excited. Holy crap. Because, I was sad to see Equus go, because you lose that original Fish 1-2-3 thing, but Yampy, on paper, was the perfect person to add to the squad. Now, for those of you who don't know, let me explain Yampy's story a little bit, because it's really, really sad. So when Yampy was around my age, he held a LAN party, maybe even younger. He held a LAN party with his friends, and he bought, but you have to pay for CSGO, so he bought them all CSGO accounts. So they were linked to him. The accounts were all linked to him. his friends kept the accounts, obviously, after the LAN party, because why wouldn't they? What's the point of giving him the game back? You can't do that. You can't. It's like they all kept it. So all these accounts that were purchased with Yappy's parents' credit card, with permission, obviously. He didn't steal his parents' credit card. He had permission. Held a LAN party. Bought them all these copies. One of his friends cheated, like he cheated, like he downloaded a hack and got a VAC ban. Now, for those who don't know, VAC stands for Valve Anti-Cheat. It's the worst anti-cheat of all time. But if you get VAC bans, I'll make this very clear, it is the worst thing that can happen to you in esports. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's the worst, considering you can, out of things that still permit you to play and join teams, it is the worst thing that can happen to you in esports. When you get VAC banned, you cannot compete in any Valve-sponsored event. Period. That means you cannot go to a CSGO major. The major is the most important tournament in CSGO by a country freaking mile. When you lose the ability to go to a major, basically no Tier 1 team is willing to sign you because they can't play with you in the most important tournament in the game. The major is everything. I want to say that again. The major is everything. Yampy, through no fault of his own, through no action of his own, was VAC banned. This superstar finish up just couldn't play in majors. So he did the only thing he could. He appealed, and appealed, and appealed, and appealed, and appealed, and he failed. So he did another thing. He took them to court. He took Valve to court over his VAC ban. And Valve did not budge. Valve were facing a potential lawsuit and ruling by the Consumer Protection Commission of Finland or the European Union, and they did not budge. So Yampy, nonetheless, joins ENTS Esports. He didn't perform he was probably the second best player on the team at that point, but it didn't matter a whole ton because he never really worked on the roster because he forced Alu off of Opping. Not a good idea. And also Alu was IGLing at the time, which was just a bad Alexi B with ENTS post Alexi B just suck. ENTS post Alexi B with Alu IGLing, I want to make this very clear, was a dumpster fire upon dumpster fire. I know for my CS fans, it's hard to imagine ENTS being worse than they were yesterday, where they lost, not yesterday, I think today's good, when this video ends, losing a 15-3 half. I don't want to talk about it. I really don't. But, they were really bad. They were so much worse than they could be now. I know it seems hard to believe, but they were bad. They were really bad. They were really, really bad. So, eventually, Yampy has no choice. He gets cut from the roster and he moves to Valorant. It's sad. It's just sad. He shouldn't have moved to Valorant. He should have been a superstar CS player, but he has no choice. So he gets added to Liquid, I think. That's it! They're solving all the problems. It's perfect. Yampy is the perfect fit. He's an excellent opper. He's a European player. He's a young talent. And they don't... I forgave their initial results because a new player, but, come on, guys. They lost to, Vitality or someone recently, and it just didn't look good. I don't want to, I don't understand Team Liquid. Nothing this team does seems to work. It's just upsetting. I really don't understand what they can do at this point, because I would have called Yampy the perfect signing, but it just didn't work out. I don't get it, man. What else can this team do? Maybe they need a dedicated IGL. Maybe Alex shouldn't be trying with G2. I'll get to that later. But I'm just disappointed. I mean, obviously, Yampy looks good. Scream looks good as usual. Linked look good. Cryptics look good. And Soulcast still a little behind, but I don't want to see more else changes after they cut Eccles. I'm just saying, man. I just don't know how to fix this team. I am not smart. I don't know enough about the team to fix the team. I'm not a smart enough person to fix the team. Sluggy must be, sweating bullets right now. He's tried everything. My god. Alright, let's move on to less depressing news. Just kidding, we're talking about Fnatic. So, Fnatic were Summon FC. They had this incredible run, getting second in First Strike. And they have not impressed me since. They have not impressed me since. They removed Mo 4D, or just Moe A4D. Not surprising. Wasn't showing up super hard. Never one of the team's top players. Sad to see because it rules players from the original roster, but not unexpected. Not impossible to foresee. Sad, but what are you gonna do about it? I think roster changes needed to happen. I think that's pretty clear at the very least. They removed Jack though. Jack. No idea how to say it. His name. He's the Greek player. Tsack. I don't understand this one. Jack is a super good player. He's a very solid sentinel, and I think he was one of the better players of the team. I understand why you wouldn't remove. Obviously, you wouldn't remove Boaster, IGL, excellent fragger. Doma is the team's star. I mean, like, I understand. Why can I not remember anything today? Let me look up the last player for Fnatic. I know him. I just can't remember him. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I haven't gone in a little while. Fnatic. Mystic. Okay. I mean, I probably would have removed Mystic before I removed Jack. Jack's such a good player. Maybe there's like some internal issues I'm not aware of. Maybe he doesn't fit with their style. That one seemed. I understand Mo. I don't understand Jack. Jack's a super good player. I think we're gonna see him back very soon. If Jack is like gone, then I am stunned, like unbelievably stunned. But I just. Okay, first of all, I'm disappointed because Fnatic seemed like such a tactically smart team. They seem like they had such good strats, but to see them fail is just heartbreaking. Fnatic is such a storied org, obviously, especially in CSGO. So I was expecting big things in Valorant. I thought this team was had ton potential. I thought they were good. To see them go this way is super disappointing. Whoever they end up adding, I'm maybe there's a lot of players they can add. Whoever they end up adding, I'm sure it'll be like. I'm sure it'll make. I don't even know what to say. I'm not sure. At this point, I don't know anything about this team. Like, I don't even know. Like, there's so many players in Europe they can add anyone, but I'm not tremendously like. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to think of something to say about this team, but it's just disappointment. That's the emotion. I'm disappointed. I'm sad to see how this turned out. I really am. I'm sure whoever they add will probably, they'll probably try to make it work as best they can, but that's just so tough. All right, I mean, there's not really much less depressing news in Europe. Let's talk about G2. Actually, let's talk about so G2. OG more so. I think OG had been the most like failure of an org I've seen so far. They had one good result. They got signed as Lucky Business. Like, I love all these players. I love Tivik. I love VKM. I love Unco. They just haven't done anything good yet. OG, they haven't really done much, and I'm kind of sad about it. I want to see them do more. They didn't qualify for Challengers 1. Hopefully we'll see them back soon. I love these players. I want to see them in, but they just not working so far. We can give them some more time. That's always reasonable, but I need to see something soon. So let's talk about G2. G2 are, I believe, I don't remember who said this, but I think it was Sideshow. It might have been Sideshow. Josh Wilkinson, the player, the caster for Overwatch League, who also does Valorant stuff, might have been saying this, but they're only really still elite on Ascent. Their other maps are kind of really shaky. They don't look super good. They don't look super coherent. So actually, I'm not gonna. I think people have talked about G2's woes plenty. It's not new. It's not new news. So I will talk about something else. They have trialed Alex as an in-game winner. For those who don't know, Alex is a player who speaks English and French, so we've got to start in the French scene. He got signed onto Team Vitality with ZywOo, the current HLTV #1 rated player 2 years running, over Simple, shockingly. So like ZywOo was getting IGL back. So like Alex went team with ZywOo and he helped ZywOo break out. So obviously Alex is an incredible IGL, and they were trialing him into G2. Now, Alex is English, so the last place you go. You go to the mostly English Liquid. You go to the mostly English Fnatic. Well, he probably wouldn't go there because Boaster's IGLing. Never mind. G2. So, no, actually, let me rephrase. According to updates, he was not trialing with them. He was offered a trial and said no because he wants to stay in CSGO, I believe. So I don't know if I believe he'll be able to do that, but we'll see. So when I look at Alex is an IGL. I don't have doubt he'd be an upgrade to what G2 is doing now. I have no doubts whatsoever. But when I look at the player, when I think about Alex, it's just like Alex's style. First of all, is in the super team that costed like $5 million and did nothing. Cloud9, Alex IGL did not impress me. Period. With a pencil. Just, like, wasn't anything significant. But, I mean, on Vitality, like, his IGLing wasn't incredible, but he had Zywoo. Like, Diagram and stuff, you have the best player in the world. It was Zywoo. Like, come on. You also had some other good players like RPK and Apex. Well, Apex isn't really doing so well now, but he was doing well before he had the task of IGLing. It's like, he's not a superstar fragger, obviously. He's not an insane big brain breakout IGL like Lexi B was. Lexi B, for those who don't know, currently OG in CSGO, formerly the ENCE roster that made the Katowice Grand Finals. So, like, I think it'd be better because they have a dedicated IGL, but I'm not like, whoa, bro, this is crazy. What a big pickup. No, not really. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping that'll be good stuff, but we'll see. Alright, last topic of the night, and this is the big one. Korea. Whenever I talk about Korea, I keep only having one thing to talk about. Vision Strikers. I'm going to come close to the camera because I want you to understand this intently. I have never, ever, in my entire, like at this point, like 6 years of following esports, like, seen a team with this level of dominance. Vision Strikers are currently 100 wins and 0 losses. They have never lost a series. They have tied 4 times, but they have never lost a series. This is the greatest streak in the history of esports. I have never seen a team win this much. I haven't even seen a team lose this much because Shanghai Dragons only went 0-42. I'm saying only 0-42 because that's the scale we're talking about here. They have had to reverse sweep series. They have had, I mean, me and my old co-host Ollie even joked about, the old. So basically, Korean Valorant dominated by the old players from an old CS 1.6 team that were dominant Korean team called We Made Fox, and the current IGL for that team was for Vision Strikers was on 1.6, or was on We Made Fox of 1.6. The best player on the team was a player called Perry, who's on NewTurn. NewTurn made the finals against Vision Strikers, and I predicted, before this, I was like, hey, if anyone's going to beat Vision Strikers, it would be Perry on NewTurn, and then NewTurn made the grand finals. Like, whoa, Ollie, the prophecy, and he was like, yeah, the prophecy, and they win in a 5-map series. Vision Strikers win Masters, and they keep winning. Like, that was the prophecy. It was going to be Perry being the best player from his old team, beating his old teammate, and winning. Beating his old teammate IGL, beating his old teammate coaching. The best player from We Made Fox, conquer the team, conquer his opponents. Nope, he didn't, and they have 100 victories. NiP went 87-0. That's in terms of maps. But Vision Strikers won more than that, and they were talking about the whole series without losing. NiP also had the caveat that they only won of being on LAN. They won 87-0 on LAN. Vision Strikers are 100-0, both on LAN and online. I don't understand how this is possible. There has never been a team this undefeated in esports before. Never. This is the most groundbreaking win streak I've ever seen in the history of esports. There's nothing like this in CSGO. Not even 2018 Astralis or Astralis. Not like that. 87-0 NiP did. There's nothing like this in the league. Not even Faker could do this in the league. Not even San Francisco Shock or Envious or Lunatic High or Runaway or any of these dominant teams can do this in Overwatch. Like, no Rainbow Six team, no Dota team. There's nothing like this in esports. Nothing. This is a new, one-of-a-kind masterpiece. I don't care if these players turn out garbage tomorrow. This will be the thing that, this will be the legacy of the Korean scene for a long time. We will be when Valorant when Valorant 2 is out, we will still be talking about Vision Strikers 100-0. And the best part is, I don't even think they're showing signs of stopping. Like, what team can you tell me is going to upset them? I can't think of anything. There's no cracks in their game. Every player, even their old-ass 32-year-old IGL, sorry language, 32-year-old IGL, is a superstar. All of their team can frag. They play a perfect, incredible, the best tactical style in the entire world. All of their players know what to do. They're never have, like, even if they have a bad day, their strats are watertight. They all can frag incredibly well. They make space for each other. They make so much space. It's just... I don't understand what... Like, I don't understand how this has happened. Unless no team's managed to counter-strat me. Like, even with all 5 players have bad days sometimes, they just have their strats are too consistent for them to fail. No teams have at least been able to, like, out-frag them and just crush them on a bad day. It's just, no, nothing. This is unprecedented. And this really, like, this could do one of two things. This is how they're going to create, like, the talent... Because I have the best team in the world, and the talent they create is monstrous. Because every team's trying to kill the king. And they're all improving, like, exponentially faster than every other region. Or Korea is garbage, like in CSGO, and there's one good team. I am so excited for the major in Reykjavik. The 2021 Reykjavik major is, like, going to be something stellar. If Vision Strikers remain undefeated until they get to an international tournament, holy hell! That'll be something to behold. That would be an unthinkable achievement. Alright. If that happens, God save the rest of us. I don't know who's going to take them down. Like, imagine a European team. Imagine your Team Heretics. Well, I would argue, even though they lost to Ascend in the Grand Finals, the best team in Europe. Your Heretics, you look at this team and you're like, oh my god, they've never lost before. Their strats are the best in the world. Everyone on the team can frag. Are you guys sure we can do this? Is Korea the best? Korea the best in the league. Like, those thoughts running through your head. Even if you don't say them out loud into your team, that's what's in your head. That's what's in your head. That's what's in your head. You're going to be thinking about that. You're going to be like, oh, guys, I don't know if we can do this. It's going to be scary. This is going to be a genuine fear. Like, just the persona of having 100 wins and 0 losses makes you hard to mentally beat. I'm not entirely sure I see, like, obviously, no, nothing stays gold, right? That's the quote. Stay gold, money boy. It's like, they're gonna lose eventually, but my god, they could win Reykjavik without losing. I believe it. The major Reykjavik could be already in Vision Strikers' hands. But if I had to pick a team, I think right now toe-to-toe can beat them. I think Sentinels can beat them in North America, and I think most of the top-level European teams can beat them, I think Ascend can beat them. I think NIP can beat them. I think Heretics can beat them. I think FPX can beat them. I think Europe is going to be able to beat Korea. I don't think Vision Strikers are going to win Reykjavik. I don't. They're not my favorites. They should be, because they're 100-0. But just based off the strength of Europe and CSGO, I truly believe that Europe are the favorites right now. And I think Sentinels can do it. So, are they a dark horse for Reykjavik? No, they're more than that. They're a likely candidate. Maybe they're even the favorites, but I'm not predicting them. We'll see. But I am predicting them to go to Reykjavik undefeated. Alright. That is it for this episode of the Valor-Inters Podcast. Again, I'm doing a solo for now. If you're interested in doing it, please DM me. It's my Twitter will be in the description. I'd love to have a co-host. That'd be nice. But until then, I'm doing this alone. So again, I'm JJupiter. Did I always say my own name wrong? Ignore that. I'm Jupiter. I'm an aspiring caster and analyst for Valorant. If you need me to cast in events, or analyze, or be on the desk, or even just analyze for like a tier 3 team, my Twitter will be in the description. I'm always available, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone.